All right, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only champion spotlight. Today we're going to be talking about Meatcarver Tolog. He is one of the new heroes that was included in the fusion that had just passed, and yeah, he is a pretty badass healer and a pretty badass reviver. So let's see what he can do and kind of give an overview on this bad boy. So, skills. He attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals this champion by 2% of their max HP. So basically, you're going to want to stack as much HP as you possibly can on him. Places a 30% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, and 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn. So it's actually really good skill. Basically gives you defense and gives you healing, which is very good. He also revives an ally with 30% HP and 30% turn meter, places a 15% continuous heal buff on the revived ally for 1 turn, basically making you get back into the action sooner and get your HP back. He also has a passive that whenever a continuous heal buff placed by an ally from the Skinwalkers faction expires, is removed or stolen, he places a 7.5% continuous heal buff on that ally for 1 turn. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. So basically, he's just a constant healer, always having continuous heals on your heroes and always reviving. And yeah, that's it. You want him to be beefy, tanky, you want him to stay alive, and you want him to just heal everybody and have a lot of HP. So, masteries, we did go down a slightly different tree than what you're used to seeing. We gave him some defense. We gave him a decreased damage if he is stunned or put under sleep or fear or any other debuffs. He decreases damage from AoE attacks. We've got him in the ability to remove one random debuff if he loses 25% HP, less damage from specific enemies, and we've got a 50% chance of increasing the turn meter by 15% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. Reason that we're doing this is we want him to speed up and get as many turns as possible so he can heal quicker, because he does have slightly long cooldowns on his skills. And then basically we went down an HP tree, got him some extra healing values. Here we go, more healing if this more healing and the value of shields by this champion if the target has been basically put under a debuff. We've got increased speed for every dead ally because we want him to be able to revive, so that's why we want him fast if someone dies. And he increases the champion's turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25%. So there's a lot of things that we did in the masteries to make sure that he's constantly getting turns and that he's constantly regenerating his skills. All right, let's get out of here. Artifacts. So we have him in a heal set. The reason being is that now bonus heal restores restores destroyed HP. Why did we do that? Because we're going to start using him in Hydra. So that is something that we want to do. So he has the extra 20% healing. It also increases the healing he puts out, so that's really good. And then we have him in a HP chest because we want him to have more HP, a speed boot, and a defense glove. All right, we don't really care too much about crit on him, but you know what? We've got it anyway. Total stats. Right now, he's got 60,000 HP, which is reasonable. My best hero, I believe, is what is that? The Butcher, Master Butcher, and he has about 80,000. He's got 1,400 attack because attack is essentially useless on him. Defense, he has 3,100, so reasonable defense. Speed, 205. We'd like to get him up to that 250 range eventually, but right now 200. He's got 76 crit rate and 69% crit damage. Resistance is 197, and his accuracy is 67. He doesn't need any accuracy at all. Just put it into resist. We want to get his resist as high as possible so that he's not getting stunned or put under any debuff, so he can keep healing and keep shielding and all the other stuff. Well, he doesn't do shields, but either way. So, ring. We have HP on his ring. We have HP on his amulet. And we have resistance on his banner to get him that extra bit of resist. You could put HP if you have enough resist in your gear, but that's what we're using right now. So now where do we use him? Honestly, anywhere. Like, that's basically it. There's really no bad place for him. We are using him in faction crypts. It's not open today. We are using him in the faction crypt. He is an amazing hero. He definitely helped us get through into 54, and now we only have 3 stages left to finish in Skinwalker, so he is good in there. Now, as far as the dungeons in Doom Tower, yeah, I mean, we could bring him into Doom Tower as a reviver if we wanted to. So here, let's go in here. We just did this fight. We have stuns here. We have provokes. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to remove this guy. even though I think it's a bad idea. Just to try it out. We're going to see how it goes and see if he can handle himself in here. So let's start. So we just did this with the other guys on another video where we ran through for Cleo, and we did the same fight. So we're going to see if he can handle this fight as well, just like Mr. Man. Now, the difference here is that he can revive as well. There's no speed up in this team right now. So other than everybody just doing damage and trying to do as much as they can, we're going to see how it goes. This is hard mode Doom Tower, so this is not normal mode. All right, we are fighting heroes and enemies that are going to be a little bit stronger. See, but he heals himself, which is even better. And since he increases his healing, he's kind of like a spirit host healer, essentially, in the sense that he can just keep healing everybody, but also heal himself, which is exactly why I love Spirit Host. So I have a feeling that Mr. Tolog is going to become one of those heroes that I just constantly use, even in new areas like Doom Tower Hard and some other things. Because the fact that he can heal, put defense up, and revive is a great thing. And he'll give them more turn meter every time he revives them. So even better. So now you're going to get to see Cleo, which we just did a champion spotlight on, now working with Tolog. I always want to call him Tolog. With Tolog because he's awesome. Now, I don't think there's anywhere in here that I would specifically say that he's useful. Like, there's no, like, one area where I'd be like, this is the spot. This is the thing. And that's what makes him so good, is he's almost like an apothecary in the sense, not because of the speed, but because he's an amazing healer in the sense that he's not going to get you up to full HP right off the bat, but he's going to protect your team. So what I would probably say in harder content, he is probably a better hero suited with Apothecary rather than not with Apothecary. Because Apothecary can bring heroes back up that are really low. He's just going to revive them. So it's the same thing. The only thing you're losing here is speed. So maybe even pairing him with a Arbiter or someone else who can revive and do attack up, that would be nice. But yeah, funny enough, this fight, same speed. It actually went just as fast, and no one died, which is really surprising, to be honest. Boom, look at that. Hard mode, and Tolog is the winner. And Cleo did a lot of damage. So there we go. You can use him in hard mode Doom Tower, and he will help keep your team defensed out and moving forward. Let's get out of here. Now let's go into some dungeons. Oh, no, not campaign. Into dungeons. There's nowhere, like once again, nowhere specific that I would be like, yes, he's the one that we want to use here. However, we did just do Dragon. We did Dragon on the last one, so let's do Ice Golem, because Ice Golem's a tough one. We're going to do stage 20 because I don't feel like being here for 12 hours. And we're going to go into Ice Golem. So this is our original Ice Golem team, all right? We are going to pull out Valerie. And we are going to bring in Mr. Meatcarver. Boom, there we go. Now, in this situation, do we need debuffs removed? We're going to have defense up from him, and we're going to have defense from here. So this is really just an extra. So what I would say in this scenario, outside of bringing in someone who can block revive, I would bring in somebody who can do more damage. And in this scenario, since we don't want to go too crazy, we're going to stick with Kale. All right, so we're just going to try it like this and see how it goes. Now, this is going to give us defense. It's going to give us constant healing. It's going to give us revival because we have Syl. It's going to give us provokes to get us through the waves. Technically speaking, we could pull Drex out of here and we could put in Yakarl, but I feel like Drex is a little easier to acquire than Yakarl over time, I'm going to say, because we got Drex fairly quick. You can get him in like 3 months if you really push. Well, 3 or 3.5, but you can get him a lot quicker if you really push. So we'll keep Drex in here. The only one in here, and then you got 6 months for Syl. So other than just waiting to get heroes, there's really not much in this team that's hard to acquire. So it's just time. That's all it is. Now, should you be doing this in what is this? Should you be doing stage 20 in 6 months? I don't know. I actually started beating my stage 20 dungeons at 6 months when I got Syl, to be honest. There was maybe, I think Dragon, we were able to beat 20. It was a poor fight, but we were able to do it. But Syl was basically the reason we beat all of our dungeons at stage 20. So now that we've got heroes like Tolog, it opens up a couple more options because he can heal and defense up and keep you continuously going, kind of like Syl in a sense, but unfortunately he doesn't have the stuns. So that's the only downside there. He doesn't have an AoE attack. Everything he does is essentially a protection for the team. He only has one regular attack, and it's just there so that you can heal him back up, basically, which is, once again, what Spirit Host does. And the fact that he's Force Affinity really helps because there's a lot of fights in this game where you're really missing that Force Affinity kind of hero, especially if you're playing the way I'm playing. But so far, he has been rocking it. I actually am going to probably be putting him into more teams now that I've been seeing how good he is and what he can handle. He's definitely useful in Hydra. I think Hydra resets. I may have one key. We can possibly go in there just to see. I might have used him already, so I don't know if we can go into Hydra. But either way, I wanted to do the video on this guy because he's really good. And if you have him, I would highly recommend building him for pretty much any team that you're having trouble with where you're getting your heroes killed. Especially in Faction Wars, because having a Reviver in Faction Wars is like a godsend. Sometimes you can't have that. Like Bannerlords, I didn't have a Reviver. So if someone died, I had to restart. Nobody likes a rare occurrence where somebody crits one of your low-end heroes and then all of a sudden you got to do a 20-minute fight all over again. But as you can see, he's really good at protecting, especially with the unhealable crap going on. It's good to have somebody who can do an extra revive in there just in case, or if Syl drops on accident, I've seen that happen numerous times, then yeah, you can get her back up by having him. Now, if they both die, then there's nothing I can do about that. But there you go. Now we've got defense up. Really, it comes down to what his main hit does for damage if both adds are up. So we did a weak hit, and that was 5k damage on Kale, so there is that. But having Spirit Host in here is a good deal because you get to remove all those HP things, and then they'll heal back up. But in the same sense, if someone dies now, as long as it's one person, it doesn't really matter too much because you got 2 revivers now. And there you go, Kale's back up. Now let's see how much damage he does on this when he decides to revive. And yeah, this is going to be a bit of a slower fight because we're not using high-end crazy Legos. You know, I'm not using Cleo in here. We're not bringing in my heavy hitters. We're just going to do this with normal heroes just so you can kind of see what you should be expecting from these heroes and what you should be expecting when you don't have the best Legos in the game. It's funny because we got Tolog in the beginning, and I said right from the start, I was like, this guy is my favorite. He is going to be awesome from the fusion, and I was 100% correct. He is my favorite one out of all of the new rares from that last fusion. And the funny thing is all 3 of them are good. We're gonna be probably popping up on Petrify soon too. She's gonna be the next one. And then I think he's Knights Revenant. He's okay. I like him, and he's growing on me, but I don't know how I feel about him yet. We haven't built him to 60 yet. He's at 50. We'll see how it goes. But so far, this fight seems to be moving along. I haven't seen anything that has made me feel like, oh, we're going to have a danger zone here. And I usually have that. So now we have defense down. So let's see what happens here when we get hit by things. That's when we're going to have the most problem, obviously, because you got ignoring. He's going to ignore defense, and he's going to take down your defense. So you're just basically getting hit by raw damage almost, and which is why a lot of people will just get killed. Oh, and the smites. So I mean, a bad hit there with one ad took him down about a third of his HP. Which basically means that worst case scenario, he should drop about maybe 75%, possibly. If he gets one shot, I have seen Syl get one shot, so it happens. This guy does not joke around, so someone like Yakar would be nice in this area because you can keep the turn meter down as well, in which case you'll only be dealing with mostly his attacks based off of the HP, like that attack. You'll be only dealing with those attacks really, because you can just keep his turn meter down, and you can freeze the ads so that you don't have to worry about them so much. So yeah, I would probably bring someone like your Carl in here. Cleo's great for clearing the waves to make the waves quicker. There's a lot of things you can do in here. There you go. Problem solved. Tolag's the man. Look at that. He did 200,000 damage for a guy who only smacks one hit. Look at that. Is this a speed boot? It is not. We do not want that. Goodbye. All right, so there you go. Tolag can be used in Doom Tower Hard. He can be used in Ice Golem's Peak. Let's just go check and see if there is an ability to use him in the Clan Boss Hydra. I think, like I said, I think we may have already used him. Where is he? Okay, we're going to go down here. Yeah, we did use him already, unfortunately. So we can't really show him in Hydra today, but you can at least see right here, info. This was the last team we did, and it was 2.5 million damage. So it's not amazing, but my main team does between 3 and 4. I think I've seen 6 or 7 was the one that we saw was a great run we did. But yeah, 2.5 million for a secondary team. This is a secondary team. This is not my main team. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. And bringing him in made a huge difference, especially for getting your HP back, for using him. I actually used him on a main team. He was actually on the main team that we used to get a really good damage on this for the first time ever, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and check that out. But yeah, you can use him in the Hydra, and there is no problems here. Just make sure he has the HP heal, because that way he's gonna remove all that crap that goes on, which is nice, because you don't want to have your HP constantly dropping in that fight, because eventually, even if your team is so good that they can keep themselves alive, eventually you will have no HP. Like, there is a time limit, and that's basically why we have him in that HP set. I want to make sure that he can keep removing the HP loss. All right, so there you go. That's Tolog. This one's not going to be as long as the normal ones, because he's, like I said, he's an all-rounder. I don't need any, there's no specific thing that I need to do to show you that he's good. He's just awesome addition to pretty much any team as far as keeping your guys defensed out, making sure if someone dies, you can pick them back up and get their speed up, and having a continuous heal, kind of like Syl. So between him and Syl, you already have a bunch of HP just constantly coming back every single round, and you don't have to worry about dying. So yeah, Mr. Beard Meatcarver, awesome hero. I definitely recommend building him if you have him, and I would put him on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd probably put him at like an 8 or a 9, to be honest. He's like that good. So do not put him in your vault. If you have him, start building him now and get his skills maxed. He is an awesome dude. All right. So if you have any questions, if you use him anywhere else, most people probably haven't built him yet, I would assume at this point, because he's just a rare. But yeah, he's a new guy, and I think everyone's going to enjoy playing with him if you get him up. This video should show you that he can be used anywhere. All right. And as always, like, share, subscribe. Very good for the channel, help growth. Remember, you can do super thanks now. So if you guys want to give in any thing at all, you want to donate to the cause of the channel, feel free to do so. And yeah, that's basically it. This is Meatcarver Tolog. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and you guys take care.